He was showing me like a lot of the times when we are walking on our path, there are obstacles. What's good, y'all? It's Janelle Renee, your faithologist. On this channel, we speak all things faith, okay? If you want a dose of faith, come through. Subscribe, stay a while. All right, y'all? And so on this video, I'm going to be talking about a word that God dropped in my spirit this morning in quiet time. And he was showing me like a lot of the times when we are walking on our path, there are obstacles, right? There are obstacles that present as mountains. And these mountains, from our viewpoint, they seem massive. However, from God's viewpoint, they are microscopic. And so we have to, the first thing we have to do is shift our perspective. Don't look at these problems or these trials or tribulations or obstacles as a huge mountain. Don't look at it from your standpoint. Right? From your viewpoint, yeah, they're going to look huge. However, when we come up higher in the spirit, when we come up higher and we get God's perspective on it, we know that there's no mountain, there's no obstacle that we cannot overcome. With the Lord of hosts of heaven's army backing us, there's nothing that we cannot overcome. You have to remember that the Bible tells us that greater is he that is within us than he that is in this world. And so we have the power within us. We have the Spirit of God within us to overcome any obstacle. All right. And so shift your perspective. Anytime there's a problem, anytime there's a trial or obstacle, whatever it is, whatever hindrance presents itself on your path, just know that it's not bigger than your God. It's not bigger than the God that you serve. And you're going to overcome it because you have God within you. And so that's the first thing you want to do. Shift your perspective and come up to and look at it from God's perspective, from a higher perspective. All right. And so that's the first one. The second thing you want to do is speak to that mountain. So really and truly, I got this word from Zechariah. I was in the book of Zechariah this morning, and I was in chapter 4, and I was reading verse 7, where it says, "Who are you, O great mountain?" Right? Speak to that mountain. Speak to the mountain. Speak to that issue. Prophesy over that problem that is arising in your life. Whatever problem is presenting on your path, you prophesy over that. All right. And just literally speak to it and let it know that that problem, you may arise, but you won't prosper. You cannot prosper. Okay. As a blood-bought believer, you have the power of life and death in your tongue, right? Prophesy over that. Zechariah 4:7 says, "Who are you, O great mountain?" And then this is where you want to put your name in. Put your name in this area right here. Instead of saying Zerubbabel is the name. Zerubbabel, I don't know how to pronounce this name, but whatever. Instead of saying that name, you put your name there and you say, "Who are you, O great mountain?" Who are you? Do you know the God that I serve? Who are you? Like, nah, back up. Before Janelle, you shall become a plain. So repeat God's word. Speak God's word over your problem. Speak God's word over your situation. Speak God's word over whatever trial, whatever obstacle is arising in your path. Speak God's word over it. Prophesy over it. Okay. And you say, "Who are you, O great mountain?" Before Janelle, you shall become a plain. Another version says, before Janelle, you shall become level ground. You shall flatten out. You are nothing in the midst of my God. Okay. And so that's the second thing you want to do. Speak to that problem. Speak to that issue. Open up your mouth and speak God's word. And just realize that you already have the victory. You are already more than a conqueror. Okay, God himself goes before us. His word tells us that in Deuteronomy 3:31-6. God himself goes before us. And so we shall prevail. We already have the victory. We are already more than conquerors. We are victorious in Jesus Christ's name. All right. And so the third thing you want to do, I think I had kind of mentioned it before, but submit your problem to God. So go to God in prayer and leave it there. If you go to God in prayer and you leave that issue or whatever it is that you're worried about or whatever trial or tribulation has presented itself, instead of worrying about it, right? You worship and you go to your Father, you go to your Abba, and you leave it there. After praying about it, don't pick it back up again. You leave it there. Submit your issues, whatever it is that you are dealing with, to God, and allow God to then work in and through you, right? Because Zechariah 4:6 says, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, said the Lord of hosts. And so by God's spirit, because we have God's spirit within us, right? We have the spirit of the living God within us. And so because of that, there's nothing that we cannot overcome. There's no obstacle on this earth that we cannot overcome because of the power of God that's within you. And so I pray that this word blesses you. I mean, God speaks to me just through his word, just through these 2 verses. I had a whole thing. And so I just pray that it blesses you. And if you need help developing your own personal relationship with God, go ahead and check out the link in my description. I'll leave it there. It's a ebook that I wrote, that God had me write. It's like 5 things that I did to develop my relationship with God and continue to do to build my relationship with God. And I'm going to be also dropping some other stuff that God has placed in my spirit to complete. And so look out for that. Again, if this video resonate with you, go ahead and just like it, subscribe. And I'm going to tell you, just as God told me, put one foot in front of the other, step out on faith, and trust God for the next step. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.